Welcome to our workout. We are going to take you through our entire preseason workout. So it's Monday morning right now. We're getting after it. We're going to go hard and heavy. In the beginning, it's going to be a lot of mobility and then low back and core exercise, some anti-rotation and shoulder health. And then towards the end, we're going to get into the strength and explosive stuff. So before we start, we want you to make sure that you subscribe so that we can keep making more of these videos and keep helping you with your beach volleyball workout. So this is the first part of our workout. This is our mobility section. For today's mobility, we're doing dynamic range of motion. So it's a series of moves to get us nice and limber and make sure that we have great range of motion in athletic moves. First one's straight leg high kicks. We're gonna go for 10 each. Make sure you get both legs. Key to get both legs. The next exercise we're going into is straight leg crossover swings. So we're still warming up our hamstrings, but we're starting to get our core a little bit engaged. Straight legs, arms out to the side. Make your foot swing and cross over to your opposite hand. 10 times each. Oh, mine's getting higher. Warming up, bro. From there, you're going into your scorpions. So you're gonna lie on your stomach and your heel is gonna come around and touch your opposite hand. You should start feeling yourself opening up now. It's a good leg swing series. From here, we're going into our cat-cows. So everybody's on all fours. Hands right underneath your shoulders, knees right underneath your hips. We're just trying to rotate our pelvis back and forth to warm up our low back. Drop your belly button out. Suck the belly button in. And make as many animal sounds as you possibly can. If you got a tight low back like I do, this is one of the most valuable and good feeling exercises you can do. I like to add my little pump backwards because I get a little extra stretch in my low back. It starts opening up the vertebrae back there. Just 10 of those. We might have gone a little bit overboard. This is our push-up into downward dog into upward dog. From here, we're just gonna get 10. We'll push up, downward dog, into upward dog. That's Make sure when you go into your downward dog that you're really pushing your chest through your shoulders. you can open up that hitting window by getting a lot more shoulder range of motion as well as chest range of motion. Most people can't hit very hard, mainly because of tightnesses. Their chests are too tight, their shoulders are too tight, so they don't have an elastic window. Downward dogs is one great way to open that up. From there, we're going into our alternating calf stretch. So we're still getting a downward dog, we're still getting some shoulder mobility, but now we're just pumping our heels back and forth by bending one knee at a time and feeling the stretch in each individual calf. Starting to get those legs warm. Next one is standing knee hugs. Let's open up those legs. This is actually the same type of warm-up that we would do on the beach for any practices or matches. That's really good, man. Started?
This year.
We did this since college.
Yeah, but I didn't do it before practice.
Why wouldn't you do that?
Because I wasn't smart. I'm smart this year.
Smart people warm up. Woo! Right into quad stretch. Standing quad stretch. So you want to stay nice and tall here. Want to make sure that your eyes and chest stay up. And if it's really easy to get your heel to your butt, then once you do that, you just kick away, and that's going to give you a little extra quad stretch and a little extra hip flexor stretch at the top of your leg. So from here, if I get it easily there and I'm really hypermobile, then I kick away. That gives me the extra stretch that I need. Ooh. And my quads are tight today, baby. Really? I'm pretty sore.
Sat down yesterday.
That's pretty good. From quad stretch, we're going into lateral lunge. So spread your legs. Make sure that both toes are facing forward, and you got to push your butt back as we go side to side. We're going to get 10 each. Feet flat, toes forward, butt back. 1, 2, 3. The key here is making sure that your torso stays inside your knee. A lot of people try to do this like this, and that's the improper way, right? We're not gonna lean over the knee because we wanna fall inside so that we get a nice groin stretch. Don't skip this stretch. A lot of people skip this. And it's so valuable to be able to get low and get into a good passing position, right? But if you really just, I don't know, if you skip through this exercise and you don't really actually get that stretch, you're not gonna increase that range of motion that you need for passing. Woo! This is one of my favorite. This is the elbow to instep into lunge twist. So it's a little complicated to get into, but I'll take you through it. Everybody's gonna take a giant right step forward. Put your left hand down. Your back knee should be straight and both toes are facing forward or flat on the ground. Your right elbow is going to reach inside your right instep. Get it as low as you can there while keeping your back knee straight, and then open up into your twist. Drop that knee back inside. Elbow? You mean your elbow's attached to your arm, not your knee? My bad, Brandon. We're not all perfect. So, after a few, you should feel yourself really starting to get more of a range of motion. If you notice on my first couple, I couldn't even get my elbow to my ankle, and after a few, I'm able to get my forearm flat on the ground. And Brandon's almost there. There we go. We're up to our left leg. So we're gonna take that giant left step forward, put your right hand down, reach your left elbow inside to your instep, and shake it all about. Open it up, and in there again. You wanna get a little more range each time you go. When you come up into this twist, try to get yourself long. Don't crunch or allow yourself to fall into your hips or fall into your shoulder. Open up so that you're stretching out and over. Yeah, 4 more, baby. Very next exercise is our warrior into our triangle stretch. So we're gonna get into that same position. We're gonna put your right leg far forward. You're gonna reach your hands back over your head, pushing your left hip forward, getting yourself a hip flexor stretch. And then you're gonna fall down into a straight leg or as straight a leg as you can. Not everybody can get themselves straight here, but attach your stomach to your thigh and then get your leg as straight as you can. Drop back down in the warrior. We're gonna do this 10 times. Pretty important to breathe here. I mean, you could say that about every exercise, yeah. And life. Agreed. But yeah, if you find yourself holding your breath in this situation, you're not gonna get the max stretch. You're not gonna get the best range of motion. And you're gonna be tired before we even get into our work portion. Not supposed to be tired yet. Supposed to have a glisten of sweat and a little more range. Going into the same thing with the other side. 10 each here. Hip flexors first. Woo! And then hamstring. One good key that I learned early on from a yogi was to press the inside of your foot down when you go into that triangle stretch. It gets me a little extra hamstring stretch. My toes like to rotate out. So that means I got some tight IT bands. But I'm gonna press the inside of my right toes and the inside of my right heels down into the ground when I'm in that triangle stretch. What do we got? We got 3 more? 4 more? Exercise-induced amnesia. It's a real thing. Yep. Nice. This is our alternating pigeon stretch, okay? This is to open up our glutes and make sure we get great range of motion in our hips. So from push-up position, what you wanna try to do is take your opposite ankle and lay it underneath where your hand was. Stack your hand on top of that. And then you can either oscillate. This might just be enough of a stretch for you. Some people can get their hips all the way down. That's the goal, to get your back hip to be able to hit the ground. But we're just gonna move through this range 10 times each leg and just dip once you get that ankle under your hand. This is nice because it also doubles as a little bit of a shoulder warm up, getting some protraction. Opening up that hip mobility so that we can be stronger, faster, more handsome. Everybody knows. The hips are the key to intelligence. It's science. It's basic science. Again, same thing here. You should feel yourself able to get that back hip lower and lower each time. Or maybe that front foot gets a little bit further each time. You can lay the shin down a little more horizontal. You should feel real good after this one. Yeah, one more each. Oh yeah. Oh, that's one of my favorites. Deep squat twists are going to be next. So with your toes just facing slightly outwards, just outside your shoulders. You're gonna get into that deep squat, but make sure that your chest is staying up and you're just dropping your butt. From here, press your knees out so you get a little extra range in the hips, and we're opening up the groin as well. Then we twist to one side, using the pressure from the inside elbow to open up. Same thing from the other knee, and then stand up in between. 10 series of those. Over time, your job is to try to create your vertical spine so that you don't have to really fold over in this position. You want to make sure that you're at least 45 degrees, not kind of hunched over like this. This is gonna open up. Brandon, pop quiz. What's it opening up? Groins, hips, yes, and thoracic. So our upper back, which is another way to get a bigger, stronger hitting window. When you're in that deep squat, one of the keys to keeping your spine vertical is sitting on your heels. So right now I'm gonna make sure that I sit back on my heels and I'm not putting pressure on the balls of my feet from this position. It's gonna help our squats and our Olympic lifts later on. It's helpful to use your eyes as well. Follow your hand up and back behind you. Ooh, I got one more. Should get a little bit of burn there.
Oh, I'm burned.
Yeah, good. Into our arm warm-ups. So this one's simple. Give yourself a nice good morning hug 10 times. Open it up, get a hug. The old Michael Phelps. There's that volleyball guy that looks like him. He's always playing the 4-man and the 6-man. He's nasty, he's good. His Instagram is like the Michael Phelps or something. Yeah. Okay, from there you're going into forward and back arm swings. We got a low ceiling, so we're just gonna go from our knees. Again, opening up that shoulder range of motion. 10, and we have our final dynamic range of motion. The old hand clasp to fold over. Take your hands behind your back, try to interlock them. From here, try to wrap them if you can to get them opened up so you get this nice big open chest. If you can only get to here, that's fine for now, but open up that chest, then dip down, get to your max range, and then come on back. Still warming up our low back and our hamstrings a little bit, but this is mainly for our chest and shoulders. Would you say it's important or not important to have mobile shoulders for a volleyball player, Brandon?
It's important.
Good answer. I think it is too. Oh, good range. And if you want to have fun, you can do 5 and 5, but you can switch and feel how awkward it is just to switch your finger position. I'm gonna go with my left forefinger on top. Just 2 more. It feels so weird, does it?
Kind of like when we hold hands.
Yeah, and I'm always on top.
I was on top.
Well, I don't think so. That's your dynamic range of motion warm up. So that's just the mobility section. That should have taken you somewhere between 15 and 20 minutes, depending on how deep you got into each stretch. Remember, during those exercises, just make sure that you keep yourself moving. Only pause for about a second, no more than a second in each position. Next part of our workout is our shoulder health workout. It's so important to keep your shoulders healthy. So we do it in almost every workout, some version of shoulder health. All right. I'm gonna use our heavy volley bands, one of our partners. We're gonna link those below. Brandon's going to be using his Bowflex interchangeable dumbbells. For this one, we are just going into a front 90-degree press. So You're going to hold. I'm going to use these bands so I can hold them down with my foot. Brandon's got his dumbbells, okay? We're going to hold ourselves right here at 90 degrees, and we're just going to stay there for 1 minute. And this is easy in the beginning. Pretty quickly, it gets tough. Each week, you want to use a different weight. So I would say if you're holding for a minute, you want to choose a weight somewhere between 5 and 20 pounds. If you're an animal, 15 would probably be pretty good. What we're doing with this strengthening and endurance by holding for a minute is we're trying to fatigue muscles. I mean, obviously you're doing that in every workout, but when we hold here, over time, the stabilizers and the little balancing muscles, they're gonna be the first ones to tire out rather than our big muscles. And that's what we wanna try to do. Okay, the big muscles won't get tired first, it'll be everything around it. And those are the ones that we wanna test so that your shoulders stay healthy in the long run. Take a 30-second break there. Once you got 30 seconds, we are going into our military press next, which is out to the side. You can do a little like Rocky montage in between. Yeah. You got a joke in 9 seconds? Put you on the spot. 4, 3, 2. All right, next time. And into our military hold. If you're going for a little extra stability, it would be a good idea to walk around here. So I'm gonna tell Brandon to just go take a lap and walk backwards, turn sideways, make sure that he's balancing. If you do these with kettlebells, where you hold the kettlebells upside down, woo, that's also gonna test a lot of stability. Make sure you're staying at 90 degrees and make sure those hands are staying up. I'm just gonna slide back and forth here, just to test a couple different ranges. You kind of look like a ghost right now, Brandon. I don't know if you're an apparition or real life. I might be working out alone and not know it. I may be so deep into the matrix. 15 seconds. Starts out easy. Last 15 seconds is tough. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo! Thank you, volley bands. Keeping it real. We got 2 more for our shoulder endurance. We're gonna be on the ground for this. So if you've been using some heavier dumbbells, you wanna choose a lighter weight. You can do this just with your body weight. And I'm going to use just some small 2-pound ankle weights. Brandon is gonna use 5-pound dumbbells. You're probably not gonna be able to get above 5 or 7.5 pounds for this because we've got a minute hold in a really tough position. So, you can do this lying or standing. Brandon's gonna be doing it lying. I'm gonna be doing it standing or bent over, okay? Brandon's gonna be lying down, and this is our I hold. So for 60 seconds, he's going to get his thumbs facing straight up, and he's gonna leave his hands extended straight in front of himself, okay? Really tough exercise. If these dumbbells are too big or too tall, then he can turn his palms down, all right? I'm gonna be doing this in a bent over position, and we're gonna start in 3, 2, 1, go. Really important to breathe and stay patient through this. Again, first 10 seconds might seem kind of easy, but it gets tough. You don't have to use a weight for this. You can see that I'm just using 2 pounds and it's super challenging. Make sure that you are locking your shoulder blades down and back. Make sure that you're reaching your fingers straight out so that your elbows are locked. This is an I hold. Come on, Brandon. All right, we got 15 more seconds. Keep it up. This also doubles as a pretty good low back exercise. 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo! 30-second rest. We got 1 more, and it's going to be a Y hold, really similar, just out a little bit wider with the hands. Give yourself 30 seconds here.
Do we have a program?
Oh, we do have a program like where you could find this and do more of it and do 60 days in a row that's guaranteed to increase your vertical and make you quicker, faster, and more explosive for beach volleyball.
Where can they find it?
Oh, well, they can find it at betteratbeach.com. We'll link it below. We got a 60-day training program just for you, specific for beach volleyball. I've been through a lot of workouts in my life, but I've never seen any program that have been built solely for a beach volleyball player, and that's what this is. This is just one workout from that program. Ready? Wise. Here we go, out a little bit wider. And we're starting on 40. You can do it, Brandon, I believe in you. You believe in me? Okay. You should tell me that sometimes. Because sometimes I don't know. What actions? You're just lying on the ground. And we are halfway. You breathing, buddy? Okay. Get him up again. Come on, 20. Never thought 2 pounds could be so heavy. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Should get the shakes. 4, 3, 2, 1. Ooh! Ooh! Shoulder health. Shoulder endurance.
Sweating. I'm sweating.
You can't be sweating. We've done our DROMs. We've done our shoulder health, right? Our endurance. Now we're going on to glute activation and hip health, okay? The only piece of equipment we've used so far is either a dumbbell or one band, and some people don't even need that. Lying on your side, we're going to go lateral hip raises. Make sure that your hips are getting long, so reach your heel out. At the same time you're doing this, we're gonna get 15. These are sets of 15. Here we go. Try to push when you're at the top of your range. It's easy to do it from the start, but when you get to the top, make sure that you're still squeezing and firing. So I'd like you to hold up there for a quarter of a second. 13, 14, woo, 15. We're gonna fatigue that one side, so stay on your side. That same leg, you're gonna reach it back so that that heel extends back behind you about 18 inches, and then you're gonna raise it from there, just targeting a different part of our glutes. Make sure we're still rotated forward here so that you are acting on your glutes and you're not lifting with your quad like this. Good way to help this is making sure that your toe stays pointed down and contacts the ground each time. Starting to fatigue, you ready? Last one for this side is going to be a 90-degree foot raise. So bring that, keep both legs straight, bring that right leg over, make sure it stays at 90 degrees. You can counterbalance using your right arm, and we're gonna lift that as high as you can, again, 15 times. This one gets me. Not like it, not in the spiritual sense. I mean, yeah. Gonna do the same thing for the other leg.
I did it like this, but we face each other and stare into each other's eyes.
Thank you for that. I'm not gonna look at you. Stop looking at me. This part should be burning if you're working out alongside us. Woo! Fighting through it. Just about 10 years on tour now. These exercises still burning. Reach backs. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, Oh man, my brother was so old at that time, and now I'm older. How did that happen?
Age.
Oh yeah, time and age. But you know what? This program, it makes me feel younger.
That's good.
I got great feedback on it because somebody who was doing this program, he's now at day 29, I think. I talked to him yesterday. He said he's been taking ibuprofen for 20 years. 20 years of ibuprofen and just like soreness. And he said he started doing all these exercises that just focus so much on health.
Yeah.
Hip glutes, shoulders, everything without pounding your body to the very end until it's ready. And he said for the first time in 20 years, he's not taking ibuprofen anymore.
Awesome.
Man, that makes me feel so good.
Certainly healthier.
Yeah, certainly healthy. Oh. All right, we got one more for hip and glute health, right? This time we're going to use our circle bands, our hip bands. You can use any form of elastic, but we've got these. These are our RPG Raise Your Game bands, okay? You're gonna wrap them around the top of your knee, and if you want a little extra bonus work, you can get a second one like I have, and you could wrap it around the bottom of your knee. From there, about a basketball width between your knees and your feet, going for hip raises or glute bridges. Bring them up nice and slow. It's a good idea for a little extra glute activation. You know, it used to be curls for the girls, but I think now it's
Glutes for the brute.
yeah, I like it. Write that down. 3 more. Oh. Glute activation and hip health is complete. Time to move on to our next section. So we're continuing with a lot of these little small muscle exercises, right? You have to make sure that you're healthy. It's nice to get strong, but if you guys aren't taking care of your body, making sure that you're stable, making sure that you're mobile, you're gonna do all of that working out, and then you're gonna bust yourself up. You're gonna get hurt, and you're gonna be out for 8 weeks, and then you just gotta start over. So you might as well give the little 20-minute investment before your workouts. Maybe sometimes it's a 40-minute investment to take care of those stabilizers, take care of the anti-rotation stuff so that small muscles are staying healthy and they can support the big ones.
Yeah, it has to be a focus. I know last year, and Mark can attest to this, by the end of the season, at practice, I had to start telling teams not to serve me just because my body was so broken down. So one of my focuses this year is to keep my body right so that I can last all year long.
It's gonna help you be more mobile, you be more flexible, and I promise you're gonna feel stronger, better, more balanced in the game, right? We're going on to our anti-rotation and stability exercises. The first one is a pain. These are lying, alternating, straight leg bridges. So you're gonna get onto your back, and we got 15 reps of this. From here, you're going to lift your hips with straight legs. You're going to lift your hips, okay? So just your heels and your mid-back, your shoulder blades are going to be on the ground. And every 3 seconds you switch legs. We got 15 seconds with each leg. We're gonna start in 5, 4. Hopefully you guys are doing it with us. This is tough though. And go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 4, 2, 3. You cheated. 6, 2, 3, 6, 2, 3, 7, 2, 3, 7, 2, 3. May seem easy at the beginning, but then those hamstrings start firing and the stabilizers in your low back have to work. Up to 10. What are you up to? 2, 3, okay. 12, thank you. 12. Oh. 13, 2, 13, 2. One. I'm getting one more. Ooh. Woo! 15 each leg, 3 seconds each leg. That's tough, and you might get some cramping in the old hammies. Next for anti-rotation, we have bird dogs with 3-second hold. So you're gonna be in a quadruped position. That means hands and knees. You wanna make sure that your hand and opposite heel extend out and get yourself into a tabletop or flat position. We got 3 seconds with each one again. So again, hand reaches out, heel reaches out, and try to get yourself into a flat position. That's 3 seconds there, 3 seconds there. Yeah. You can test your stability and anti-rotation skills by putting a cone or a bowl or your coffee cup on top of your low back. Don't do that for legal reasons, but you want to make sure that your hips are not tilting to one side or the other, that you can keep those hips nice and stable. Is that 5? 6, 7, 2, 3, 8, 2. Right about now is when I start feeling that tickle in the low back. 2, 3, 10, 2. You go to any AVP tournament, I guarantee you'll spot at least 10 people doing this exercise here. This is 13. Tabletop. Reach out for the last 2. Extend. 1. Make sure that you're squeezing that back glute. That's how you know you're really activating. If your glute is relaxing here, I don't think you're activating. Woo! I can really feel that working in my low back, for sure. This is today's last exercise in our anti-rotation section. So, me and Brandon both have our trusty volley bands, and you can use any elastic band here, but we're gonna link the volley bands below. These exercises, of course, are also available at betteratbeach.com, where we have a 60-day training program just for you. This comes straight from that. So, we're gonna go anti-rotation here. You're going to stand on your outside leg, and you're going to leave this band here in the middle of your body, okay? Your knee is gonna get up to 90 degrees, just like this. You can hold the band any which way you want. Once your knee is up to 90, you're gonna extend it out, rotate across, rotate back to the other side of your knee, and then center again. And that's 1. Trying to fight for stability the entire time and balance. 1, 2, 3, 2. 1, 2, 3, 3. It doesn't feel like a big move, but again, this is for those stabilizers. 3. If this makes you tired, imagine trying to hit a few hundred balls in a tournament. Imagine what your body starts feeling then when the little stabilizers are getting gassed out. And yeah, this also activates your glute in a big way. 8. Woo! 9. Don't let your knee rotate or move here. Make sure it stays at 90 degrees and it is locked in space. Just your upper body moving around it. 13. Oh, no! Gotta get the last one. Can't cheat on the last one. 15, both sides. How you doing back there, Brandon? You hurting? You breathing? That's good. Breathing's good. That's nice. This side gets me just a little bit more. Because my right glutes don't like to fire. So this one gets me extra tired. But I make sure that I take that over. What's that?
Jiggling?
Not jiggling, my right side gets tired a lot quicker. And that led me to some low back injuries. That's why I built the program the way I built it, to make sure people can stay healthy. Whoop! Stay balanced, Mark. Here we go. Try to stay as tall as you can. Make sure you're activating through your leg, through your glute, and your spine is totally straight, like you're trying to stand as tall as you possibly can. 2 more. Woo! That feels good. Thanks, volley bands. Pretty useful stuff. Next part of your workout is our core endurance. Today for our workout, we have low back. In the 60-day program, we flip between low back and core, low back and core, or low back and abs, low back and abs. So stick with us through the low back core endurance. You got 15 reps of each exercise. First one is just lying chest raises. Get yourself on the ground. Put your arms out to the side here. You can rotate your shoulder blades down and back so that you're getting a little bit of activation. Your feet are gonna stay down, but just your chest is gonna raise. Real control, 15 times. Again, little pauses at the top, just to prove that you got that strength and that stability back there. Once you're done with that, second set of exercises, put your hands straight out. These are leg raises. So we're gonna activate from the glute. Make sure that the thighs come up off of the ground. Ready? 15 times. Let's go. 1, 2, squeeze your butt. 3, 4, not with your hands. With your mind. 13. 15. Nice. Straight into Superman's. This time, everything is gonna come up into the sky. 1, 2, 3, let's go. Final exercise in core endurance. It shouldn't take more than 2 or 3 minutes, but you just want to make sure that everything's activated. And we did this exercise already in this workout, but just in a single leg fashion. This is one of the days where these two types of workouts stack on top of each other. So we're gonna get into that straight leg bridge again, holding for 1 minute. Straight leg bridges, just your heels, just your shoulders. Starting on 50, 3, 2, 1. Now's your time to converse with your friend, or just contemplate life. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe our video editor, Tanya, throws up some nice highlights, volleyball, so you can imagine that. Wow. So you can imagine that. It's also probably a good goal setting time for you. If you've got a clock that's keeping time for you so that you can stay up 1 minute, maybe right now we start visualizing, because we're about to get into our work phase with our strength moves, and that's when it gets extra tough. So find that goal that you have right now. For me, it's for sure Sundays in AVP. That's it. I want 4 of them this year. We'll see. By the time you're watching this, maybe we'll have already started. But you got to set your own goals here and make sure that you're focusing on them when things get tough. You got 8 seconds. Time. Ooh. All right, it's time to go big boy on it.
Big boy?
Big boy.
Okay, big boy.
Upper body strength time. We're going in supersets. So we got 3 sets of 10 of each exercise. I don't want you to take long breaks or almost no break at all in between each exercise. You have pull-ups. With your palms facing out, you're gonna be pulling yourself up. You have push-ups or weighted push-ups. If you want there's some extra weight on your back or a weight vest, you have 10 of those. And then after that, we have dumbbell curl to press. Okay, 3 sets of 10. We're not gonna stop moving until they're all done. So over on our pull-up station, we keep these power bands. You can do that too. If you can't get 10 pull-ups in a row on your own, you can use these as assisted. I can usually get the first 2 sets of 10 on my own without the assistance. If you're in a gym, you could also be using a lat pull-down machine or an assisted pull-up machine. But here we go. Start with us. Woo! All 10. From there, just going into 10 push-ups. I'm on body weight. My lifting partner, he's gonna start his superset. Woo! That's a good one. He's on push-ups, I'm on biceps. Curl to press. Little combo exercise. 10 of these as well. 2, 3, 4, 5. Try not to swing too much. 6, 7, 8. Woo! 2 more. 9. Ooh, ah. Oh, baby. I'm gonna take a couple seconds till I get into my next one. Start the next round fresh. You got it, baby. Go get it. Oh, you're just holding your breath the whole time like that? Oh, there he is. There he is. Come up for some oxygen. All right, I'm gonna get as many as I can using body weight, and we'll see if I can get all of them without the bands. Four. Woo. Not my day to get them all, so I'm gonna take my power bands. I'm gonna drop one with my knee inside, just right here. Okay, wrap that band around your shin, and you can lock it back behind you. This makes it a lot easier. Still tough though.
Let's go.
9. 9, that's 10. I'll get 11, just for you. You going unbanded? Mad respect. 5, 6, 7, stay with me here. 8, 9, 10. You thought 10 push-ups was gonna be easy, but it's not because you got all the other ones. Did you get 10? Damn, where are you coming from?
I'm a big boy.
Oh, you're going 25, so I'm gonna curl the press, I see. 3. Oh, keep breathing, it's tough. 4. 5. 6. 6, hopefully you did it a lot faster than me. I got 4 more. 7. 3 more. 8. A little bit of assistance from the legs. Next set, I'm gonna drop it down lower. 9. Last one, you can start the next exercise with me. 10. Woo! I'm gonna bring these over because I was using a little too much swing. The next time I go for those, I'm gonna make sure that I go at 25 instead of 30s. And I got my last set of upper body. Now, since I almost gassed out last time doing my body weight, I'm gonna write that down onto my sheet, and I'm gonna go all bands here. Just make sure you write down whatever you accomplish. I'm feeling that pump, baby. How you doing, B? You're doing. How you doing? Ooh. Oh yeah. 3. Come on. 2 more. Skinny jimmies. Look at these long volleyball arms. That's a long way to go. Straight into push-ups. No rest for the wicked. 10. Oh, feels good. You don't want to push your chest too much. So you don't want to rock down or go in heavy bench press if you're a volleyball player. There's a lot of impingement that can happen. And we don't need big, bad chest muscles. We just need healthy, mobile shoulder girdles. And that's why we add another shoulder exercise to our biceps. Curl to press, right? 1, 2. Keep going, baby. You got it. 3. Always helps to do this with a friend. Make sure you can let them know if they're slacking. And give them that extra push. 5. 6. 7. 3 more. You got it. 8. 9. My upper body round is complete. We don't do a ton of upper body strengthening. We like to focus more on shoulder health and stability, but you do need some strength so you can generate some power. So we go through ours in a quick way, all supersets. Keep breathing. You do these with no rest, even with lightweight. Ooh, I promise, he's gonna be hardcore. Don't let your hair get in your eyes. It'll blind you. Finish up, B. How many y'all left? Oh yeah. That's it, that's it. If you're with me, you should be getting your next sip of water here, recovering, getting ready for your leg workout. Very nice. Yeah, big dog. Next thing we're doing is lower body explosiveness. So this next one is going to be technically complicated. So if you don't have training, if you don't have a personal trainer who can show you how to do this, if you don't have a substantial training background, we're gonna do 2 different exercises, okay? I'm gonna show you my workout where I'm doing Olympic lifts, and if you wanna train yourself in that, promise it'll be worth it. Olympic lifters, power lifters, on average have the highest verticals among all athletic disciplines. That means basketball players, that means volleyball players. If you're an Olympic power lifter, you will have a higher vertical than those athletes. So if you want to learn the Olympic lifts, I suggest you go and find a trainer and you do that. If not, I'm gonna show you some alternative exercises that you can do. If you are a trained athlete, if you went to college and you were trained under a coach, under a personal trainer or a lifting expert, you're gonna be working with me and we're gonna be doing our Olympic lifts. So today we have hang cleans and power cleans, and we only have 3 sets of 4. Okay? If you're not comfortable doing Olympic lifts or you have no training, I do not want you to try those exercises on your own, because we have exercises that are just as beneficial that we can do from a weighted standpoint. So Brandon is gonna be doing our non-Olympic lifts, but still using lower body explosiveness. He's got 2 weight vests on for a total of 50 pounds, okay? And he's gonna be doing the explosiveness. He's gonna be jumping with just this body weight. So from a quarter squat position, he's going to jump up as high as he can, reset himself, and then making sure that he's exploding each time. For me, I'm gonna be doing my hang cleans, making sure that the bar comes down just to the top of my knees, and I'm gonna be doing the exact same movement that Brandon is, popping up, and then I'm just going to catch the weight on my shoulders. So if you're sticking with me, we're on Olympic lifts. If you're in a home gym where you don't have a bar, or you're not comfortable doing Olympic lifts, you're gonna stick with Brandon.
Let's go.
So I do have 3 sets of 4, but what I wanna do is make sure that I am acclimating to that weight. I'm gonna make sure that I am starting with a lighter weight, getting myself warm, and then when I feel like I'm up to my work weight after 2 sets, that's when I'm gonna count my sets, all right? So this for me, 10 pounds on each side, is just one of my warm-up sets.
Okay. That a boy. Get it, son. Okay,
Good warm-up. This is my second warm-up set. Warm-up set number 3, and after this, I'll be ready to work. First work set. Let's go. Oh. Hey.
Explode up. Get that thing up there. Come on. So this is going to be our single leg box jump from a seated position. It's important, so when you set up, you want to make sure that you are still sitting straight up. Okay, we don't want to have bad posture. So go ahead and sit straight up, and then before you get going, you're going to want to pick up whichever leg you plan on not using. So for me, I'm starting with my right leg, so I'm going to have my left leg off of the ground. Once I have my left leg picked up, which is the leg I'm not using, I'm going to plant my right leg into the ground, using that position to explode off of the ground and land on that right leg on top of the box. Okay, it should look like this. Make sure you are trying to jump over and land on top of the box, not just landing on the box. I almost bit it right there because I was just trying to get on the box. 3 or 4 again?
3 sets of 4, yeah.
We're doing 3 sets of 4. One more.
Other side.
And then you're going to switch so that you're using only your left leg. So once again, pick up that right leg. You should still be sitting up tall. You're going to pick up your left leg, plant that into the ground, and then explode up.
Oh, that's me.
Get it up there first. Come on, get up there.
Okay.
Nice. Oh, shit.
Second lower body explosiveness exercise from our Olympic series is gonna be your power cleans. It's really similar to your hang cleans, of course, but we're just going from the ground. So all the way down, all the way up. Make sure that when you're getting this power clean, you're trying to keep your back at the same angle through the entire pull. You don't wanna lift your butt and then throw into your back. That'll put a lot of stress on your low back. Good luck, let's get it. Set number 2. Make sure you're fully recovered. You don't want to go lifting and throwing heavy weight if you're still a little tired. Last set of the day, boys and girls. Controlled lift off the ground, then get fast. Easy.
Come on. Keep going. 2 more. There you go. Nice job. Come on.
Finish that pull.
Come on. This one's for you. Let's go.
Aye!
Nice job.
Easy! So that's your full workout. That's just one day out of our 60-day strength training program. And there's a lot of different exercises that you need to do that we didn't cover today, but we hope you stuck with it, and we hope you stuck with us and that the timing is right for you. We always love to hear comments and suggestions, so If you need to say anything, or you have ideas for another video, or you have different volleyball or lifting questions, go ahead and use the comments below, and make sure you subscribe and you hit that bell so you know when our next workout, drill, tutorial, or match is coming. Hit us up at betteratbeach.com or come visit us at Volley Camp Hermosa in Hermosa Beach, California. Catch you on the flip side.
Yeah!
Yeah.